Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I've got some more tip-top level pro action coming your way this afternoon, chaps, because I know how much you love your pro games. So do I, and to that effect, it's going to be a ladder match, and it's going to take place on Summer Duel. So without any further prevarication on my part, let's go over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. So Summer's Duel, the less fun version of Winter's Duel. Joke, I know that Winter's Duel is universally disliked, and I'm the only one who seems to enjoy it, purely because I'm a noob at this game and I like playing SimCity instead of SOCCOM. But hey, that's just me. Of course, Summer's Duel has the added bonus of these side areas where you can scoot around your opponents. So you've got 3 channels that you've got to defend. You can't just turtle up on these ridges and out artillery spam. But yeah, why I enjoy that I don't know, I just do. It's entertaining to me. But let's take a look at the players and their starting locations. Over here in the east, over here in the east, in the red corner it's Eisen, and he's going Cybran first land. And taking a look over here in the west, in the blue corner, it's RA's Petrick Pawns. He's going Seraphim, opening first, second and third land. Expect no early air from these guys. Second land as well from Eisen. Not too surprising on a map of this size that no one's rushing early or super early bomber. But we have got a lab and a mole out for Eisen, bearing down on Petrick's units, but that is going to run into a Selen and a Tham. Petrick will lose the Selem but scoop up the other 2, so that's a very minor win on that first engagement there for Petrick, but certainly not going to break the bank. Petrick going to keep his ACU in the center. In fact, both these guys are going to keep their ACUs in the main base for the moment. Want to extend that build capacity in the main base and help tech up or do whatever it's going to do to expand the base quickly. I guess there's not as much need on this to send your ACU out right in the middle. There's not that much map control you have to gain control of. You can push out. It's a very close proximity map, so there's no need necessary to go running straight after the Nexus. However, Petrick is going to make a move towards the middle. It looks like he's bearing down on this Mex down here, wants to grab it. That's a good thing too. For the moment, Eisen is slightly ahead on mass, 19 to 15, so he needs to even that up quickly and sharply. Meanwhile, a little engagement's kicking off at the north and south. Relatively even numbers of forces, though, at least for the moment. However, there's a sort of a steady stream coming out of Petrick's side of things going north. Both have the same amount of units roughly down at the south, but not so much coming out of Eisen's side of things. And that is because he is already 77, 78% done on the upgrade to the T2 land factory. So Eisen going for very early T2 in this one, going straight for T2. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Very exciting stuff. That then completes. He's working on some energy storage at the same time, wants to get access to that overcharge. Always a wise move, especially on the really close-knit maps. What's he going for? First of all, it looks like he's going for rhinos straight off the bat, and Eisen's also going to throw an upgrade together. So large expenditures there from Eisen in the first 5 minutes of this game. Conversely, Petrick not currently doing anything on the tech side of things, but he has branched out, transitioned into air units. We can see one bomber on the field already, another one being produced back at base. And if he can take out some P-gens, that could really scupper Eisen, who's going to need all of the power he can to finish this upgrade on his comm. He drops it early at first on that first Mantis going past, which is then going to run into some Thams. But thankfully for Eisen, this Rhino tidies up this little attempt at a run-by here into the main base from Petrick. Another bomber coming forward, but unfortunately Eisen gets finished a tracer and a banger, so air units will have no impact on this base now for the foreseeable. And if I were Petrick, I would stop producing them, which he has indeed. One last bomber got spat out there. He can use that to harass the side units, but he's not going to have any more impact on the base, really. Petrick has eased off the pressure on the northern pass, which is a good thing too, because there's a Rhino sitting for him at the end of it. He's going to be able to tidy up all 3 of those Thams for no losses. Instead, though, Petrick is funneling more troops down the southern pass. Eisen's got a few Mantis in play, but no tech there for him as yet. However, another Rhino rolling off the conveyor belt, I imagine, will be dispatched straight down there. Indeed, that is where he is going. That's the route he's taking. It's the only real open door right now. However, look, Petric Pawns 20 mass per tick, Eisen 17. So Petric ahead on mass, at least for the moment. Eisen potentially about to lose another Mex. He switches up to the Rhino. I think it's a mistake. He might as well make certain of that Mex, knock it out of commission. He moves north. He thinks exactly the same. Down it goes. He knows he's not going to keep hold of the Thams, but that doesn't matter. That's yet more hampering going out for Eisen. Petric seems to have eased off. Is he bottlenecking on power? Yes, he is. And that'll be an upgrade on his commander. And he now also has access to T2 as well. So that is in response to those Rhinos. Both these guys have T2 units in place, or will have T2 units in place in under 7.5 minutes, maybe even under 7.25. We're just going to see Ilshivers emerge out of Petric's side of things. And Ilshivers, so devastatingly useful. We're going to get to see them matched up against Rhinos. You'll see just how well they do. Absolutely awesome unit. Still one of my favorite T2 units, even though the Obsidian has had such a buff of late. That was one of my all-time favorites as well, if only for the noise that the gun makes. But Eisen coming quite far forward. Let's have a look at what that upgrade on his comm was. It wasn't the engineering suite, and it was the microwave accelerator. He's got the gun upgrade on that. And he's going to march right forward with that comm, knock down another Mex. Now that's a good thing too, because he is behind en masse, 17 to 14 as it stands at the moment. 1100 reclaim to Eisen, only 874 to Petric. So Eisen has a little bit more of the reclaim banked so far. That's probably because all the Thams that were thrown away down here after the tech upgrade was completed and those Rhinos started to appear. Meanwhile though, more Thams bearing down on Eisen's position in the north. Fortunately for him, for Petric though, there are more Rhinos waiting. He's going to be able to prevent that from causing any real damage. Finally, we're getting the first little bits of comm-on-comm action. And of course, Cyber and ACU still woefully weak with no upgrades such as the engineering suite. Just 1,000 hit points at full. Plays 11,500. Sorry, did I say 1,000? I meant 10,000 hit points at full. Plays 11,500 from Petric. So Petric has a natural advantage, and of course Petric going straight for the gun upgrade as well. It was the gun upgrade we saw him doing earlier, and that will nullify the advantage Eisen had in damage. Both have large rate of fire boosts now with that upgrade on, of course. Very useful indeed. Nice little bit of micro there from Petric. Forces a few shots to miss, and Ilshiva up top. Is it going to get the better of the Rhino? No, it's not. I'm imagining that was probably not a straight-up fight. So much wreckage dotted around up there, it's hard to see or tell exactly what happened at this stage. And is that Vipers being produced now? We've got a second land factory that's been upgraded. Yes, it is. Mobile missile launchers emerging onto the field there for Eisen, who now has just the land factory HQ, but a regular factory upgraded at the front there. Could make life a little bit difficult for Petric. And Eisen now getting ahead in the mass game as well, 23 to 17. Which was making their way around the ridge at the bottom, taking down the engineer from Eisen and knocking aside that Mex. Both these guys just putting enough units where they need to be. You can see more Rhinos heading south, or at least one Rhino heading south. If Petric could get some Ilshivers in around here and knock down some power, that would probably be his best bet. Now they've doubled up though, 2 more Rhinos, and I imagine more to emerge soon. Take a look at what Eisen can see. He hasn't got universal intel at the moment. Has managed to sneak a Mex out of that. Loses both of the Ilshivers. It's very, very even here at minute 11. However, Eisen looking a little bit peaky on his commander there. Down to around 3,200 HP. Petric on around 4,600. Doing nice work with that commander against the ground forces. Is this Ilshiva going to emerge victorious? Yes, he is. 4 kills to his name as well. Absolutely awesome unit. Petrick bearing down on Eisen once again. Into the red, 2,300 HP, but Petrick needs to be a little bit careful here. Got some hoplites turning up in the field. He mustn't forget their range at all costs. Eisen looking a little bit better than Petrick suddenly in terms of HP. There's not a lot of units there now to threaten Petrick, who's able to back up to safety. Very close indeed, but look at this. A little bit of a breakthrough in the southern pass there from Eisen. 1, 2, 3 rhinos and a hoplite and a couple of accompanying mantis. Could cause some real damage if he can get in here. Wheelshivers waiting for him. Down goes one of the rhinos. Petrick's going to lose a mechs. Indeed he does. Catastrophic damage is avoided, and still the game remains tight. 17 to 21 in terms of mass, not much in it in terms of score. Petrick on 15 kills on the comm, Eisen on 19. With a much better rate of regen, of course. That's cyber and comm. Now we're seeing some more bombers emerge on the field as well from Petrick. Eisen seems to be avoiding the air game a little bit. He's starting to produce some interceptors now, but hadn't been bothered up until now, really. Those inties homing in on some of these bombers from Petrick, and his defending interceptors are up here. He needs them out to escort his bombers. One of them gets shot down, another one's going to go and follow it. That's a nice pickup there from Eisen. And a fire beetle manages to tank one bomb at least from that T1 bomber. If I was Petrick, I would be trying to save my bombers up and try and send them against Eisen's power grid. Needs to watch out for the fire beetles though. Actual viable attempt to snipe these days is possible with fire beetles. Used not to be, of course. It's one of the nice innovations that's been made on FAF recently. Petrick running out of Wheelshivers up here. He's going to continue to chase him back. 15 minutes gone in this one so far, and still it's deadlock. 21 mass apiece, 460 power apiece. Tiny score advantage to Eisen, which of course means nothing. What, if anything, is going on in the bases? You can tell what's going to give anyone an advantage at this point. I really don't see anything at the moment. Both these guys just focusing on trying to secure 3 passes that they can. It's a nice use of T1 artillery there. Got superior tech units, holding them at bay for reinforcements to amalgamate, accumulate back here. We got down here, so a forward radar and a tracer as well. So Eisen a little bit concerned by the airplay that's been going on so far, and this the emergence of those bombers. Wants to extend that anti-air coverage just a little bit. Another upgrade for Petrick, so it'll be interesting to see what he goes for now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's T2 Engineering Suite. It's a great map to get a point defense creep on. Run one right down the middle and use your units to hold the flanks at bay. It's not a bad little maneuver, it has to be said. And we've got an upgrade to T3 now running for Eisen, so he's the first to take the plunge. How is that affecting his eco? Not that badly, to be honest. He's floating a large amount of mass, and he's got exactly the right amount of power to do it. Of course, you would expect that from players at this level. A royal mess up here at the top pass. suicidal robotic tanks and assault bots just ploughing into one another. 40% done on that upgrade. Are we seeing anything come out of Petric's side of things? Not at the moment. He's continuing with the status. So this is nice work from Eisen. If you can get the upgrade done and continue with the status quo, that is what you want to do. Better yet, if you can upgrade and push at the same time and continue to distract your opponent, give you some advantage in terms of time. So the more your opponent is invested in combat, the less time he's going to have to think to eco or tech up, and you're going to have more time with the tech advantage. But Petric now bearing down on Eisen's comm. What have we got on that commander? What was upgraded there? That was indeed the T2 engineering suite, but still, that's 15,000 or 16,000 HP when it's full, but it's only on around 9,700 at the moment. But that does fit well against the 5,400 left on Eisen. And he's going to force Eisen's comm right back to his base. How long's left on that upgrade? It's all completed. So we're going to start seeing T3 units on the field now from Eisen, and that is really going to be a huge game changer. And still no tech or extra tech appearing on that HQ for Petric. And it's going to be Loyalists, the order of the business, straight off the bat there from that T3 factory. Eisen taking a beating from that commander in the middle. 2,600 HP left on the commander. You can see Petric making gains in all parts of the map. He's been pushing up here. He's cleared out the bottom pass. Now he wants to secure the middle with some T2 point defense. He should surely be aware of the tech disadvantage he now faces. He might have been paying attention down there. It looked like that Ilshiva was being microed, so that has to concern him a little bit. If he planned to do a point defense creep in the middle, he needs to get on with it. It's probably unlikely now, but that's even possible, especially with the emergence of trebuchets turning up on the field for Eisen. That's deploying and is surely going to go straight after that point defense in the middle. See it landing in the background there. And going straight after the commander, not messing around. And this is bad times for Petric, who has reacted. He's trying to get his own T3 in place. He is ahead on tech, but he's behind on power. He might struggle to get that T3 on the field quickly enough. While up here, dance backwards and forwards with an Ilshiva that is severely outnumbered. Lots of hoplites. Rhino, but that point defense has succumbed to a barrage of artillery fire, which has allowed Eisen to bring forward that trebuchet. And if you get that trebuchet in range of the main base and start swatting power and build capacity, Petric will be out of this game, I think. There it is, and there it goes. Boom! Half the build capacity gone, a whole bunch of power generators damaged, the rest of the build capacity is gone, and that's going to dramatically slow up the upgrade. And now he's going to start losing power as well. Petric's coming forward. He wants to take out that trebuchet. The question is, what has it done to his eco?
Commander under attack.
Bad things is the answer. 440 power left in production there. And that's going to affect his ability to overcharge as well, which is also going to affect his ability to deal with the new arrivals of T3 units on the field. He is surely going to just be able to manage the upgrade. He completes it, but he's got no build capacity left. Shells continue to rain down. Petric comes forward. Can get in here and shove an overcharge in here and kill these two trebuchets. He might stand a chance. His best bet, surely at this point, is to think about some kind of draw, and he's focusing very heavily on Eisen. It's probably what he's got in mind. Eisen needs to defend his commander, needs to bring everything he's got and focus on Petric, at least, at the very least, discourage Petric from pursuing his commander. But Petric will not be dissuaded at this moment. He does go into the red, 3,700 against 3,300 though, because of course he's got a lot more hit points base. Eisen is straying out of range now, and he's trying to slow up Petric by parking units in front of him. The emergence of bricks is very timely, but if he kills Petric too quickly, he might still be in range. There's only 1,900 hit points on the tank, and it does clip him, and Eisen goes as well. Oh, that's harsh. Eisen's pissed. Eisen is severely pissed, and I don't blame him. He basically won it. Petric says sorry, he had to do it. He knew he was beaten. Those trebuchets were going to be able to park back here anywhere he chose, and of course the more P-gens that got taken out, less power he was going to be able to build any units with, and also more importantly, he wasn't going to be able to overcharge any of the T3 units that were turning up to kill his commander. So it really was all or nothing there. So well done to Petric. Commiserations, Eisen, you played a good game. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.